And now we come to the key part of this lecture, and we're talking about surface gravity wave. Okay? Surface gravity wave. So we have a restoring force. So what it means is you disturb the sea surface. Okay? You introduce some disturbance, and then it's the gravity effect that wants to restore and create a flat sea surface. Okay, but the wave overshoots, and instead of just a flat sea surface, you get a wave. Okay, and if you don't believe me, just chuck something into the water. For example, your mobile phone. Just chuck it into the water and see, and check the waves that you create. I actually went onto a field cruise, and the chief investigator was so crazy, and he actually, there was a time where alcohol was still allowed on vessels. That was on a German vessel, and he was so drunk, and he opened the bulla, the window in the cabin, and that was in the middle of the Greenland Sea, and he actually looked at his alarm clock and looked at it and said, "Oh, well, I don't really need this," and he started to chuck his stuff out of the window into the ocean. Okay, he started with his alarm clock, and then he looked at his shoes, and he took his shoe off and threw it out of the bulla into the ocean. Anyway, so he definitely created some waves. And going back to this thing, we have two different types of surface gravity, okay? And they depend on the ratio of wavelengths to total water depth. Total water depth is the distance between the surface to the seafloor, and wavelength is the horizontal distance between two wave crests. Okay, and there are two different types of waves. One is called short, and this is when the wavelength is less than 2 times the water depth. And the other extreme are the long waves, where the wavelength exceeds the total water depth 20 times. Between these two types of waves, you have a mixed type. Okay? Let's have a look at the dispersion relation for each of these types of waves.